Mr. Newell, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for St. Augustine Prep?
Sure, I'm an English teacher in my 5th year here. Teaching, it changed career. So I had a previous career in the military and a couple years in business. And I love it. I love teaching. I'm glad I made the change.
Before we go on to some questions about faculty development, how has your military experience impacted what you do in the classroom?
I think it's brought in a sense of discipline in the classroom itself, which I think is important, which I think is good, which I think I had an advantage of as a brand new teacher as opposed to maybe somebody coming straight out of school or maybe from a different career background. And not only discipline, but also, especially in this environment here at St. Augustine Prep, lends to maybe a certain amount of respect from the boys in the very beginning, which I always think helps, and helps to build rapport between myself and them.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the program that you're currently enrolled in at the University of Pennsylvania?
Sure, it's a master's program in teaching, learning, and leadership. It's a great program because it allows you to kind of focus on those elements of either teaching, learning, or leadership that you are most interested in. And so for myself, it's both teaching and learning, as opposed to maybe the leadership portion. And it's a great program because I have, as much as I love being a teacher, I had no prior training or background in education itself. And so I had the opportunity to enroll in this program, and it's been fantastic for me and giving me that base in education that I was missing.
Now, what is the commitment as far as time? I mean, how many classes are you taking each week? Mm-hmm. What's the expectation?
I've been taking 2 classes a semester, and so at the graduate level, each class is 1 night a week for about 3 hours each night, and I'm also currently working on my thesis at this point.
And you have a new child.
I do, yes. He just turned 1 the other day, too. Yes.
Congratulations, and you must be busy.
Very busy, yeah. So the time management portion has been probably the toughest, actually, with everything, and also managing my class load here. Especially with seniors and grading. I mean, it's English is about writing, and so not only writing myself, but also having my students write has definitely been a challenge.
Since you're currently enrolled in classes and obviously teaching a full load here at St. Augustine Prep and dealing with the parenting stuff as well, what impacts have you seen with taking classes and teaching at the same time?
Well, besides the educational background and theory and techniques that I've learned in the classroom that I bring in my classroom, I think the biggest impact it's had on me is being a student myself. I think one of the things teachers don't do enough themselves is be students, and so having to sit in the classroom, having to do homework, having to do papers myself gives me a perspective for my own students that I think some teachers I have lost because I spent a number of years out of the classroom, and I think that just gives me a better perspective on them, on their workload, and my expectations for them that maybe were prior to me going to school were a little bit out of sync with maybe what it was they could actually do. So I think one of the most valuable things is myself just being a student and having sit in their chair again.
So the topic of your thesis is college decision making. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I think one of the routes higher education is moving towards today, just because of the expense of it itself and the expectations for high school students to go to college, is about the actual route they take, that the high school student takes towards a college degree. And I think one of the exciting areas that education is moving into, and especially for maybe students from our places like St. Augustine Prep, is that there are now much more different choices for them to try to pursue that college degree other than the traditional 4-year college, which fits for some students, but it doesn't always fit for every single student. So now such choices as going to community college first, such choices as taking a gap year, doing a volunteer service first to mature, to decide what it is that they want to do with their career is now much more available to the kind of standard college student, and much more accepted, I think, is even more important. Other than the expectations of forcing high school seniors who maybe not be ready for college to go to college and maybe waste a year or two with that.
And when is that due? What's your plans? When's the due date for the thesis?
July.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Now, on a little bit of a personal note, you obviously have a lot going on with the teaching here, which you do a wonderful job, and the advanced degree work that you're doing in your thesis. But for your son, as a father, looking at his education in high school and college, what are some of your fears and concerns about education in the future?
That where I see education going from my coursework at Penn, and the kind of 21st technology, the 21st century student that is now kind of the focus in kind of educational theory and educational policy and all that, having that move to both the secondary and the higher education level. So I think that sometimes both levels are kind of stuck in the past a little bit. So what our high school, the future high school and future college my son goes to, how are they going to prepare him to be a mid-21st century citizen?
Scared.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, at this point in time, yeah. How are they going to prepare him to be a mid-21st century citizen? Are we still kind of stuck in the old ways of education, or has education picked up and moved into the future?